Everybody wants success fast. They want results now. But life doesn't reward the impatient. It rewards the disciplined. Every single day you grind, every setback, every delay. It's all part of the process that builds the man you're supposed to become. You don't quit when it's hard. You level up. You don't cry about the storm. You walk through it because the process isn't punishing you. It's preparing you. So stop doubting, stop whining, and trust the process. That's how warriors are made. You think motivation is enough? It's not. Motivation is like a spark. It starts the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. I didn't get here because I was motivated every day. I got here because I was disciplined when everything in me said quit. There were mornings I didn't want to move, nights I couldn't sleep, times when I questioned if all this work was even worth it. I've been broke, I've been overlooked, I've been betrayed by people I trusted, but I still got up, I still trained, I still built. That's the difference. Discipline is what separates men who dream from men who do. People love to talk about passion, about feeling inspired, but feelings are weak. Feelings change every hour. One day you feel unstoppable, the next you feel defeated. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline says, I made a decision and I'm not backing down. When I started, I didn't have luxury, comfort, or security. I had drive, I had hunger. I didn't wait for the perfect time. I made the time perfect through action. Every punch I threw, every deal I chased, every late night in silence when nobody believed in me. That was discipline shaping my future. You know, you can't trust motivation. You can't trust motivation. It will abandon you when life gets dark. But discipline is your soldier. It fights for you even when your mind tells you to stop. That's how you win. You show up when nobody's watching. You do the work when nobody claps. You push when everyone else rests. The world doesn't owe you recognition. It rewards those who refuse to quit. You know, I remember being broke, sitting there thinking, maybe this isn't for me. That's when the voice in my head said, keep going, and I did. Not because I felt strong, because I decided what I would be. That's what discipline is. It's not about being fearless. It's about moving forward despite fear. Discipline builds momentum. Momentum builds power. And power changes everything. So when you feel tired, when you feel like it's not working, remember this: you don't rise when it's easy. You rise when it's hard. You rise when you push through the pain. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're destined to become. Pain is the real teacher. Everyone wants success, but nobody wants the pain that builds it. The truth is, you can't grow without struggle. Every time life hits you, it's shaping you. When I was at the bottom, when I didn't have anything, pain was the only thing that kept me alive. It reminded me I wasn't finished yet. I've been broke, I've been doubted, I've been in rooms where people laughed behind my back. I've walked through situations that would have broken most men, but I never let pain define me. I used it. I turned every ounce of pain into energy. Every disappointment became fuel. Every loss became focus. You know, you see people run from pain because they think comfort means happiness, but comfort kills growth. You can't become strong if you're always avoiding discomfort. Pain forces you to evolve, to adapt, to harden. I remember training when I was exhausted, when my body screamed to stop. I pushed through it because I knew on the other side of pain was power. That's how winners are made, not when it's easy, but when everything inside says stop and you keep going anyway. You know, pain humbles you, it teaches you discipline, it strips away weakness. When you go through enough pain, you stop caring about opinions, about validation, about fear. You start to realize pain doesn't destroy you, it reveals you. It shows you who you are without excuses. There were moments when I lost everything I worked for. I could have quit, I could have played victim, but I understood that pain was testing me, not punishing me. It was asking, how bad do you really want it? And every time I answered with action, you know, the reason so many people stay average is because they think pain means something's wrong. It doesn't. Pain means you're growing. It means you're breaking limits. When life hits you hard, smile and hit back harder. Let pain sharpen your focus, not break your spirit. Because when you master pain, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing in this world can control you. Success doesn't happen when the cameras are on. It's built when no one's watching, in silence, when you're working and the world doesn't even know your name. I've spent years in that silence, no recognition, no applause, just relentless effort. There were days I'd wake up before the sun, train until my body begged me to stop, and feel like I wasn't moving forward. There were nights I'd sit alone, staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone would ever see the work I was putting in. That's what people don't understand. The process isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It's lonely, it's repetitive, and it tests your patience every single day. You know, when I was building myself up, there was no support team, no encouragement. I was surrounded by noise, people doubting, laughing, calling me crazy. They couldn't see what I saw. But that's the beauty of the grind. Nobody sees it until it's done. And when it's done, they'll say you're lucky. They won't see the nights you worked in silence, the sacrifices you made, the things you lost along the way. They'll never understand the weight of your discipline because they were never there when it was forged. And I remember eating the same meals every day, running on little sleep, watching everyone else relax while I kept grinding. I wasn't chasing applause, I was building something real. Silence became my friend. It taught me how to focus, how to detach from distraction, how to master my craft without needing validation. And because when you can perform without attention, you've already won. That's when the process starts rewarding you. You know, people want shortcuts, they want recognition before they've earned it. But success doesn't come to the loud, it comes to the prepared. The silent years are the foundation years. That's where your mind hardens, where your vision becomes clear. You learn to rely on yourself, to push even when nobody believes in you, and then one day you emerge stronger, sharper, undeniable. The same people who ignored you will start asking how you did it. But you'll know the truth, you built it in silence when nobody cared. Because real success doesn't need noise, it speaks for itself. Patience is one of the hardest things to master, but it's also one of the most powerful. Everyone wants everything right now, fast money, fast fame, fast results, but life doesn't reward speed, it rewards endurance. I learned that the hard way. When I was grinding in silence, nothing happened overnight. There were times I felt stuck, like all my effort wasn't making any difference. I'd train, I'd plan, I'd push, and still the results were slow. But that's when I realized something. The process doesn't move according to your emotions. It moves according to your discipline. Patience isn't about waiting. It's about what you do while you wait. I remember years where I was putting everything into my goals and still seeing no outcome. I could have quit. I could have said, maybe this isn't for me, but instead I kept going. Every single day I reminded myself, growth takes time. You can't rush mastery. You can't microwave greatness. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you trust it, and you wait. That's exactly what I did. I trusted my grind even when I couldn't see progress. Because I knew the results were coming, not when I wanted them, but when I was ready for them. The truth is, patience separates the weak from the powerful. Most people quit right before they were about to win. They lose focus, they get bored, they give up because success didn't come fast enough. I've seen that happen countless times, but I learned to be dangerous in stillness. When everyone else was rushing, I was mastering timing. When they were chasing trends, I was building legacy. And when the results finally came, I was ready to handle them because patience had built me into someone who could, I've lived through delays, setbacks, and disappointments that would have made most people stop. But I didn't see them as signs to quit. I saw them as training. Every delay made me sharper, calmer, stronger. That's the secret. You don't just wait for the reward. You become the kind of person who deserves it. Yeah. Because real power isn't about how fast you move. It is about how long you can keep moving without giving up. The process has a way of revealing who you truly are. When everything is going right, everyone can pretend to be confident, disciplined, and focused. But when life starts to crumble, when money runs out, when people turn their backs on you, that's when your real character shows. I've lived through those moments. I've seen my plans collapse, watched people I trusted disappear, and felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down. Those times didn't break me, they exposed me, they showed me what I was really made of. You don't truly know yourself until you're forced to fight without comfort, without help, without assurance that it'll even work. That's when the truth comes out. When I was struggling, there was no spotlight, no audience, no one cheering me on. It was just me and my thoughts. That's where I learned who I was. I realized I wasn't built to quit. I wasn't built to make excuses. I was built to adapt. Every challenge that hit me stripped away weakness, ego, and laziness. It left only discipline and clarity. That's what the process does. It removes the noise. It makes you face your own reflection and ask, do I really want this, or do I just like the idea of it? Most people never face that question because they run the moment things get uncomfortable. They never let the process expose them, so they never grow beyond the surface. But the moment you embrace the struggle, instead of avoiding it, something shifts. You stop being reactive and you start being intentional. You start understanding that every setback is a mirror showing you what needs to change. I remember days when I questioned everything, my plan, my effort, even my purpose, but those moments were necessary. They built my mental armor. They taught me how to stay calm when the world felt unstable. They taught me that the version of me who started this journey couldn't survive where I was headed. I had to evolve, and the only thing that forced that evolution was pain and pressure. Trusting the process isn't about sitting back and hoping everything works out. It's about realizing that you are the process. Every decision, every setback, every lesson, it's all shaping you into the person capable of handling success. When I started my journey, I thought success was something I had to chase. I thought it was a finish line I'd eventually cross. But over time, I learned that success isn't a destination, it's a transformation. It's not about what you get, it's about who you become while earning it. And that's what the process does. It molds you, it refines you, it breaks the weaker parts so the stronger ones can take over. I've had moments where I questioned everything, times when nothing seemed to go right, when opportunities vanished, and when I wondered if all the sacrifices were even worth it. I lost people, I lost money, and at times I even lost direction, but I never lost faith in the grind. I kept showing up because deep down, I knew the process wasn't against me. I knew the process wasn't against me. It was building me. Every rejection was redirection. Every loss was a lesson. Every delay was protection. And the funny thing is, when you look back, you realize every setback had a purpose. It was preparing you for something bigger. And there were nights I'd sit alone, replaying my decisions, analyzing every move I made, and still come out with no clear answers. That's when I understood you're not supposed to have all the answers. You're supposed to keep moving forward anyway. You learn to trust your effort, your discipline, your instincts. That trust becomes unshakable because it's built through repetition, through experience, through resilience. The process trains you to stop looking for external validation and start relying on your internal foundation. People think trusting the process means waiting patiently. It doesn't. It means acting relentlessly. It means showing up every day, doing the work, even when you can't see the result. Because the process doesn't fail those who refuse to quit. Every struggle you face is not pushing you away from success. It's pulling you closer to the version of yourself who can handle it. So stop chasing results. Build yourself until the results start chasing you.